Hello and welcome to tonight's matchup. This is the WBP League and we are back with the Bravo division. We have Valkyrie facing off against Orion here on Villa. So with that being said, this does err on the side of being a bit defender sided, so we'll have to see what Valkyrie brings to the table in terms to attack that, seeing as though they will have to attack here first. Bana's getting banned. Not entirely a crucial operator on this map, seeing as they will more than likely still have the Maverick and or Thermite. Thermite is more often used on a lot of these sites, so nothing that should cripple the offense too much there. For a secondary ban, as expected, we see Thatcher taken off the board. This will more than likely have the attacking teams leaning more towards a Maverick Thermite setup, and it'll really spike up the usage of IQ as well, more than likely, seeing as though she has a lot of opportunities to destroy those gadgets vertically. Mira will be our first defensive ban, so we're continuing with the trend of non-surprising operators. Thatcher. Now we have Mira off the board. She can pretty much shape any site in a very effective way. Most competitive teams opting to take her off the board when entering a match. And for our final ban, we will see Echo, as it is also commonplace to see an Intel op get taken off the board. So we'll probably be seeing a bit more Valkyrie, Mozzie, Maestro, getting some usage here in this matchup. Maestro being a pretty common operator selection here in this map. We're gonna head into trophy statuary here first. Teams do typically favor these top floor sites, as they are rather strong, but as it comes with these maps, they're very fleshed out in terms of strategy. See Nomad coming into play here. She can be very effective, especially playing out on those balconies, preventing a lot of runouts, as there is huge potential on this map for big plays coming out from the defensive side. We actually see, okay, we saw Sledge switch off onto Thermite there, as expected. Definitely going to be needed in this statuary trophy site take here. You'll often see people try to get that master bedroom wall opened up. As I said, with Thatcher being taken, or actually we saw Thermite switch to the Sledge. My apologies. I've been caught off guard. I've been made a liar. So they will be relying heavily on the Maverick here. You see a rotate getting opened up on that master wall, which isn't uncommon. That does open up a pretty deep angle looking from trophy out into that master bedroom area.
10 seconds to insertion. Bomb located by attackers.
Typically, I do see an ACOG in that position to play those angles, which the defense does not have in their pocket, but nonetheless, I'm sure they have planned for this. We see Smoke setting up within closet here. Prep those reinforcements prior, make sure nobody could connect from bathroom window. We'll more than likely see him rooted pretty heavily trying to thwart this offense from making their way in towards master bedroom, and he's a good operator to do so with that kit. SMG 11 and the shotgun can prove to be very difficult in these close quarter situations. They'll drone him out immediately, so they will be aware of his position. Does have a couple of ADSs stacked within there to help him out. As we see the attackers prep, they start to take care of those ADSs. Just a moment, folks. Seems as though I have a little bit technical difficulty, but we are all set. My apologies. Papa Jolt's coming out with the first kill. That'll be Maverick opening up for the offense here, taking care of Wamai, so that will be a couple of discs getting taken off the board prematurely, as we are just now a minute into this round. We have Sophia and Ash making a rather large rotate here, looking to make this a multi-pronged attack, it looks like. We have Papa Jolts and Sledge staying up on that master balcony as they look to continue the pressure there. As they relocate the rest of their utility, possibly to deal with this Jaeger. I do see drones coming out in his general direction. We will have to be careful as they are aware of his presence. Ash is going to be able to find the pick on the digital. That's going to be 2 opening kills for the attackers here, and things are looking relatively good. Tack another kill on, and things are looking great. Now we're looking at a 5v1 as they've all but sealed this one out. They took control over the games room side, and from there, the players within Master were able to clean up the rest of the ops on site. So that'll be a pretty decisive round coming out from Valkyrie there on attack. As things did slow down after grabbing that opening pick, but from there we saw them explode in through games room side, grabbing 2 huge picks, with the rest of the defenders getting cleaned up on site. So that's first round going over to Valkyrie. We head into dining room kitchen now. Once again, this is one of these stronger sites in rotation. Though we do see teams lean towards those top floor sites, dining room kitchen has become a very popular choice amongst a lot of competitive teams. So we will see what adjustments they're able to make in order to get things swinging in their favor. As that was, I believe, a flawless round coming out from Valkyrie there. So they have to be feeling relatively confident with that start. We see them opening up angles towards gallery. Whether or not they will leave all of that soft. Typically teams will reinforce that wall towards laundry, though I could see some possible benefits from leaving it soft. Attackers will tend to allocate some utility in that area.
5 seconds left.
They've actually opened up pretty much all of the dining room area. This is going to make it mighty difficult for any attackers who look to make their way in from that laundry area. And a rather uncommon setup, I'd say. See a couple of roamers stacked over in dining as well. So you will often see the attacking team go to take the top floor here, as there's a lot of vertical angles to play with. So they will look to establish that top floor control relatively early on, as we see them making their way in now. And I don't believe there is any roam presence on this top floor for them to contest, so they're going to be able to walk in freely and get to work on those angles right away. As we're not even a minute into this round, they're going to go ahead and establish some of that verticality. Ash will creep on down, spots the shield and decides to back up momentarily. Sends a drone ahead, which is a rather smart decision. They don't look to overstep just yet, but most of the roaming presence being stationed on that first floor. We see Doc and Jaeger playing within living room and mud. Ooh, a beautiful angle getting opened up from Ash. She's able to find digital. They'll be taken off the board. We see Castle follow. He's down, but they will not be able to finish him off just yet. But Jaeger will be finished off by McDommy. That's going to be 2 kills for the Ash. She once again proves to be very useful in terms of getting these opening picks for their team. Going to make her way in through back stairs. She toys with fire. Nearly approaching a few of the defenders here. Gonna spot one laying down behind kitchen. She will be able to finish him off, but not before getting killed by the last player within laundry. But Sirius will follow that up with the final kill there to put that round in the pockets of Valkyrie. That's gonna be 2 in a row for them. So definitely an interesting strategy there in terms of opening up all of those walls within dining, but not necessarily paying off in any major way, as we saw the attackers grab that top floor control. And from there, they really just kind of gunned their way in. We saw Ash make her way down astronomy stairs. She was able to open up that angle in towards living room, picked off the Doc, and then shortly thereafter was able to find the kill onto Jaeger before making her way into sight there to finish things up. So with that being said,
defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
We're gonna head into trophy games. Now this is where you will expect to see teams head early on, so maybe interesting to see them heading here as their third choice, but nonetheless, they clearly had strategies in place just not proving to play out to their advantage just yet. We will see the Maestro coming into play. Extremely useful operator. That evil eye will be placed looking in towards study.
5 seconds remaining.
Looks as though maybe he will be able to stop some of the hard breach, looking in towards that bar wall. Nonetheless, Valkyrie looking very strong in their first 2 attacking rounds here. They're definitely going to look to keep up that pace. But we are still early on in this matchup, and there is plenty of room for things to change. So with any luck, the attackers will spot out the evil eye here. As they do have plenty of utility to deal with this, though they will need to take care of those ADSs if they look to find any success. They are stacked with the lifeline, Ash's charges as well, so they should be able to take care of the evil eyes. See the flashes going out to burn those ADSs as we speak, and that will be 1 evil eye taken off the board for the attacking team, which is going to ease up access in towards study. We actually see Ash already making her way up South Main Stairs, looking towards 90. There is a player located at the back of 90. He's going to go ahead and take care of another evil eye. Maestro will be left camless now. Sledge looking for any possible angles vertically there, trying to find any unsuspecting players behind that bar. Maestro is playing close by. He will have to be careful. That evil eye actually not getting taken out by the Ash there. Not sure whether or not there was an ADS in position. I wouldn't be surprised if there was.
Attackers have located a bomb. Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
So we see 2 kills coming out there. Nomad's going to get smacked off rappel. And now we're looking at a 4v3 just like that. The attackers on the back foot here. But they're going to equal things out as Doc makes a rather dangerous rotate with that soft wall being opened up. And he will pay the price. We see Zofia nearly landing the headshot there. You had to feel a bit robbed. That one was a mighty close. SVM able to find a pick onto Ash. Smoke getting rather aggressive there. Not able to find the kill, but landing a lot of damage onto the Zofia. Taking a good bit himself as he now sits at under 25 health. We're looking at a 2v3, and now the attackers have got to make a big play. They've only got 25 seconds here. Ooh, and they're not going to be aware of the player at the back end of 90. That'll be it for the Sledge. It'll be all left to the Zofia. But with 25 health and a smoke shotgun sitting just behind the corner, you're not going to be able to do much, as that'll be an easy kill for Maxi. And that'll be the first round win for the defense here as they look to swing things into their momentum as we head into round 4 here on Villa. So we go back to where it all began, trophy statuary, as they will look to make the necessary adjustments to get a bit of a change in the results that we saw on the first time we headed here. As I do believe Valkyrie was able to pick up a flawless round on this site. They saw there was a pretty heavy placement of utility and operators within that master area. Quickly sent a couple of their players in on the games room take. They were able to pick off the Jaeger, clear out the roaming presence, which gave them access to clear out the rest of site. It was actually a little less of a great use in utility and more of just great use of gunning. They won all of their gunfights that round, so it is very likely that we will see things play out differently here, though they do opt for a relatively similar setup, but we won't see the smoke playing within bathroom this time around.
10 seconds to go.
Though they do have a mute. Looks like once again they will allocate like a very heavy presence on that games room side. And seeing as though the attackers did rotate over here midway through the round last time, you can't disagree with this decision making. We see Ash making her way into the basement floor right away. She's going to catch SVM off guard. It's going to be Pulse taken out rather early on, as we weren't even 30 seconds into this round. The attacking team's going to put it into their favor. That being said, the rest of the team is going to position themselves on Master Balcony, as is standard. They will be looking to get the Maverick in to do some work on that wall, I do imagine. And with Pulse being taken off the board, they're going to be able to do so a lot more comfortably.
My device is ready.
We see them to do, or continue to get some remodeling worked upon here as Sledge opens up that bathroom wall, looking towards Astronomy, not finding anybody just yet. Maverick will get to work on that master wall, with the Maestro playing just behind it. But like I said, with Pulse being off the board, Maverick's got to be feeling rather comfortable in his current situation. Ooh, nades coming out. Not going to do much damage to the Maestro. But you have to imagine he is starting to feel the pressure. It's going to be Ash finding another pick here, as they continue to be a force to be reckoned with, as they're able to find the opening pick continuously for this team, putting the attackers in a great position for the site execute. We will see the wall successfully get opened up from Maverick. That's going to be Maxi with the pick. Ooh, he's going to get immediately traded out, and they will find the remaining defenders in very little time. So, once again, a very, very decisive attacking round on Trophy Statuary here. And you have to wonder, as the defense, when you're going to call it quits and try to work something out. But we are going to head back towards Trophy Statuaries. They do believe that is where their luck lies. So, interesting to see what they have in store for us, as we've seen very decisive rounds. As I've said, though, losing the Pulse was a very big hindrance there, as that allowed the attackers to comfortably sit within Master Bedroom without any worry of a C4 coming out. So things could play differently if they're able to get a bit more utility out of that C4. But we actually don't even see a Pulse coming into play here. So more than likely not going to see that vertical presence coming from below.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So, being a relatively similar setup, as we am switching towards Vigil. So that utility will no longer be on the board, but he will be able to conceal his position, maybe make some big flanks later on in the rounds.
10 seconds to
Stay
go.
alive a bit longer in general as Vigil, denying their
5 seconds left.
info, if at all possible.
Attackers
Once again, we
check
see a
in.
very
Locate
heavy
bomb
roam
and defuse.
presence on the south side of this floor. Now, it didn't aid them too much that last round, seeing as though the attackers were mainly focused on making their way up from Astronomy and Master. We see Ash working in on the basement immediately again. See if she's able to repeat her continued success on finding opening picks for Valkyrie here, as that is a major
Bomb located by
ingredient
attackers.
to finding these round wins. So with that first floor being cleared out, once again, the attackers will be feeling a bit more comfy as they make their way in towards Master, knowing that there will be nobody below to get that C4
A
off.
bomb is located.
Ooh, C4 will be coming out over top of the reinforcement, though, and that they were not watching for. It'll be Paul Pajol's taken out. Sirius is able to find a pick with the shotgun from Sledge, though. SMG-11 nearly being able to find a second, but they're on a sliver of health with 4 bullets left. You're gonna have to be mighty careful. The defender will back off. Sledge will more than likely live to see another day. As we begin to see the attackers position themselves on the balcony, or in a rather peculiar position here. See, finds himself stuck between a rock and a hard place with Nomad being just outside. They're going to be on the drone, but they're going to hop right off and shut him down. Great play coming out from the Nomad there. A very heads-up play at that. Now we see the attackers take a one-player count advantage. As they look at a 4v3 with a minute left, they have plenty of time to work this out. Raided's able to find a pick onto SVM. So that's going to be Blastful finding his second of the round on Nomad. Zofia will be able to pick up that final kill, and that'll be another round in Valkyrie's side. Or in their favor, rather. So, Trophy Statuary planning, or seeming to be a very, very Valkyrie-sided site at this moment, as they've been able to take this site with a rather proficient use of utility in these past 2 rounds, though their hard breacher was taken out early on by that C4. They were able to win the necessary gunfights to get control over site. And when it comes down to it, if you're able to win those gunfights, you're going to be able to take that site, regardless of whether or not you have that breacher up. Mute definitely getting caught out on the run out, being a huge turning point in that round. If he was able to get that kill, we could have seen that play out entirely differently. But nonetheless, Nomad with a very heads-up play, hopping off the drone just in time, able to find that pick. We're going to head into Trophy, or sorry, Games Aviator once again. And we're on the last round of this half here. So Orion's definitely going to be looking to get a 4-2. As I said, this is typically a defender-sided map. So Valkyrie's going to be feeling extremely good about heading into defense, regardless of if this isn't a 4-2 or even a 5-1. So this is really more about Orion just trying to swing momentum in their favor before we head into the second half here.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Be an interesting setup coming from the castle here, as this will isolate that player within 90 and even allow them a rotation if at all necessary. Definitely seeing some interesting strategies coming out from Orion here. Right. Yeah. Ash quick to make their way in, looking for any opening picks. Joined by Sophia's, they're going to start to take care of some of these castle barricades. This will open up some angles for them to play with here, as they will be met by the presence of the defense immediately. Ash is going to be caught off guard by the player behind bench. That'll be Castle with a very impactful opening pick, because Ash has had a hot hand throughout most of these rounds, being able to pick up the opening kills. So, that being said, we are looking at a 5v4. Interesting operator selection here. Ooh, 2 kills coming out from the attackers here as we see Raided stack 1 with the Maverick. Maverick using the AR, or the DMR rather. We continue to see some rather interesting gun choices. We've seen Sledge with the shotgun. Now we see Maverick with the DMR, made for us by Fofoson, or made popular by Fofoson XD. Kit coming to a ranked game near you. Maverick gets to wall on that vault, or gets to work on that vault wall there. Maxie's able to find a pick that will equal things back out for the defense here. The attackers are quickly gathering intel. Unfortunately, the ADS is going to stop that concussion short of being effective, but the gun continues to be effective for Raided as he's able to find another kill. Sirius is able to tack one on and proves that operator selection to be rather useful in this round at least. So that'll be another swift victory for the attackers. We're looking at 5-1 rather. And now we will move into the second half. Now, will Orion be able to make this an attacker-sided match? It's very possible, seeing as though we just had a 5-1. But this is a very tall task to ask of any team, as we are just 1 round away from potential match point. Orion will have quite a lot of work ahead of them if they look to equal things back up here. But like I said, we have seen crazier things happen, and speaking of crazy things, I believe it's happening currently as we see Tachanka come out here. Look, I'm not exactly sure what to say about this operator pick. Let's just wait and watch, I suppose. Nonetheless, we see a rather standard operator selection coming out from the offensive side of things. So Thermite will be in play, as use of Maverick does have to be incredibly efficient. He's a rather easily forded operator. There's a lot of hard walls on this site, but more than likely they won't have the denial in order to stop them. As a matter of fact, they don't have any denial to stop them, so Thermite will be able to open things up any way he sees fit, but so will Tachanka. As we see him get to work right now, he's going to go ahead and place that turret in a more advantageous position. See Cabby making her way downstairs. She looks to catch any attackers off guard. This is a pretty huge map, so if they're not able to drone her out, that might prove to be effective. So we've got Cabby, we've got Tachanka, we've got Frost, we've got a lot of things going on here that I'm not quite used to casting. Rated with one of the only operators I'm used to seeing on a day-to-day basis, being played at a competitive level. With a big run out here, he actually is going to catch Mendez off guard, almost able to catch one in towards Valkyrie as well. We see the defense playing this one rather aggressive, and I guess I'm not all too surprised when you look at the operator selection that has come out here. Sophia and Jackal look to make their way in towards site.
No time to wait.
Ooh, unfortunately going to be caught off guard by the Frost there, and that's going to be 2 big kills coming out from Sirius and Frost. Maxi able to frag back though. Ooh, huge kills coming out from the Frost. So that's a triple kill for Papa Jolts on the round, and this operator selection proving to be a proper one, as somehow we come out on top as they play rather aggressive. Not sure whether it was the utility that won them that round or just the aggressive gunplay, but nonetheless, that'll be a round win for Valkyrie. We are sitting at potential match point now. So we are out of rounds for Orion to play around with here. They are going to have to win every one until they're able to tie things back up at 6 if they look to take this one into overtime. Now that is a mighty tall order for any team, so it'll be interesting to see what we have in play here. Tachanka will be coming out once again, but overall maybe a little bit more of a serious lineup coming out from the defenders here, but very frag heavy nonetheless. So we see a proper choice in utility taken by the attackers this time. Once again. They will have some denial this time around as well. Make things a bit harder for the attackers to make their way in and get rid of, or get working on some hard destruction. That is, we do see Tachanka probably setting up for some type of peek. Sure, you've seen this in a YouTube video.
Attackers are heading out.
And I guess we'll take a gander at what he's up to as he positions himself in a very aggressive place, looking to catch any of these players coming out of ruins. Not gonna find anybody just yet, but Bandit will. It's gonna be a rather crucial operator pick there. So Jackal's gonna get taken off the board. He's very effective in the roam clear, so that's gotta hurt for the attacking team. We continue to see them peek outside of master bedroom here. Valkyrie taking a very aggressive stance in these last, or in potential match point here, which could prove to be costly if the attackers are able to bait them out. Could prove to be successful as they are getting rather aggressive. We see Sophia nearly finding a headshot there. Puts a little bit of damage onto Vigil. But they continue to grab intel on that study side before making their way in. We are just a minute into this round. And we don't necessarily see any map control coming out from the attackers just yet, though we do see Vigil once again getting rather aggressive as a few of the defenders position themselves in towards that master area. Maxie's able to pick up a kill. That's going to equal things back out at a 4v4. Ash aware of Vigil's position, but just not exactly sure on where he might be. He needs to hold these angles, looking for any potential slip-ups, so she will have to watch as he's playing extremely aggressive in closet, and she will not be expecting it. That's going to be another pick for the defense, putting them up 4-3 with about a minute and a half left to go. So, they do have control over games in Aviator. That looks like they're going to start to make their push from red and or 90. They open up some angles looking in towards statuary now. The player just at the bottom of red, it looks, and Tachanka is in position here to shut anybody down. A beautiful shot coming out from Digital there. He's going to shut the player down in trophy, but not without IQ being traded out, trying to take care of that shield, but he's not going to be able to. McDommy finds his second kill of the round. That's going to be a 3v1. Things are looking rather grim for Orion here, as the defenders are just going to need to play this one safe, and they should be able to seal this one out. Playful antics coming out here, but that definitely making things all the easier for Zofia to potentially clutch up. She now looks at a 1v2, but there's only 20 seconds left here. She is going to have to make her way in towards site
15 seconds left
before inevitably running out of time as it quickly whittles down in the final seconds here.
10 seconds left.
He will be found on his turret. Pre-fires coming out. No bullets landing with just a second left here. Nobody's going to find the kill, and that will go the way of Valkyrie. So, unfortunately, not seeing maybe the most serious of setups coming up from the defense in those last rounds, but a great game nonetheless, as Valkyrie takes this one rather decisively at 7-1. With that being said, their team performing in a relatively neutral manner, a few standout players such as Sirius and McDommy, but overall team performing well as a whole. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, folks. There are plenty of matches to be had. I think we have one coming up right after this and one on the second channel as well, so make sure to pop on over and check those out. And thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your evening.